Hey guys, it's Deni here from Angel Handmade Papercraft. Today I am working with the Love from Lizi July 2018 kit. This is my first card. So just going through my goodies, working out what I'm going to use, grabbing out my card bases. As you guys know, I always use pre-made card bases because I love square cards. So I'm just using these, I don't know if you call them pull aparts or whatever they're called. I'm absolutely loving them. I used them on quite a few of my cards. They were such a great thing to have in the kit this month. So I'm just pulling apart all the pieces that I need and then layering them and working out where I'm going to put each little bit. Just getting them all in place, making sure that I don't lose any little bits and pieces. And now I'm going to assemble them. So I'm going to be using the foam mounting tape that is in the kit this month as well. So I didn't end up using the extra sentiment from this set here. I decided to use it on another card. So I just put it to the side until I was ready. So just popping on all of the foam squares, making sure it's got plenty of dimension. Can I just say I had these little bits stuck to my hands everywhere by the end of this video. They were so staticky and they were stuck to my arms and I don't know what's going on here at the moment. So just putting them on. I've cut some of them up just using my scissors. Sorry, my big head's in the way. Just got to make sure that everything is on there straight. Just cutting up some more of the small pieces, making sure that I can fit foam under everything. Popping on all of the windows. I did play with some background papers for this card, but I ended up just using the push apart, whatever you want to call it. It was perfect. It finished perfectly. So now we're on to card number 2. So I've used another one of these little pull apart, push apart things. I think they're for decoupage or something. It's not something that I normally do, so I'm not sure technical names on it, but I am loving it. So again, just pulling all of those apart, assembling, making sure that I've got every bit that I need, adding some foam mounting tape from the kit. I love that Lizi thought of everything when she was putting these kits together. Again, I've just cut some of those squares up a little bit smaller to get into the little nitty gritties. How cool is that? Look at all those layers. Grabbing a card base out, making sure that I'm putting it on straight. I cut some of the patterned papers up from the kit as well, just to fit under and make some matted or matting layers, matte layers, I don't know. Using my Scotch ATG gun. And I was going to put the sentiment on there, but decided to just use it just the way it was and use that for another card. So working on card number 3 now. So I'm going to use another one of these push apart, pull aparts. Look at all those layers. It's gorgeous. So pulling this one all apart. So I did have some technical issues when I was doing the recording of this video. I don't know what's going on with my video camera at the moment, but it kept turning itself off all the time, even though I had a full battery and an empty card. So I don't know what was going on there, but unfortunately you will see later on in this video that I have lost a little bit of footage here and there, and I ended up losing a whole card of footage. So I wasn't very happy. I fought with my camera to get it all back, but it just wasn't going to happen. So I did make 10 cards for the one kit. Unfortunately, I did lose the recording of one of them, but I have added everything that I can in. Now I am using these glitter strips that I absolutely love, that Lizi puts pretty much in every kit that I have received so far anyway. And just using my Scotch ATG gun just to adhere that down to the card base. Again, I thought this was enough. It didn't need a lot more, just a couple of Nouveau drops, which are also from the kit this month. And then I realized that I put it on the wrong way. I always check, but for some reason I didn't. I think this is about where my issues started from. So we're now working on card number 4. Just showing you guys here what I do with some of the smaller pieces that were left over from the kit. I have a Martha Stewart punch that's all hearts, and I just punch little bits and pieces out of it, and I use them on other cards as well. So that's what I do. I have a little tray on the side of my desk for all these little bits, just so that they are always readily available. So using another one of these push apart, pull apart thingamabobbies, adding some foam tape. Again, I did cut some up a little bit smaller just to make sure that they fit, layering it up. Wasn't sure what I was going to do here. Was I going to add the frame? Wasn't I going to add the frame? I decided to add the frame. So what I have actually done is I have used my scissors and cut all of that mounting tape, the foam tape, really, really thin so it could go all the way around the outside of the frame. Now popping on all of my animals onto the chairs, and I decided to use that extra layer that come from the inside of the frame down the side of my card so that I could make use of all of the little bits and pieces that came in that page. So I've also cut a piece of the patterned paper up to layer underneath as my matte layer, and then adhering that down to my card base, adding some of the Nuvo crystal drops from the kit. I'm just patting them down because I did want that small dome shape. I didn't want that really large one. So we're now moving on to card number 5. Here's where I pulled out the stamp set. I am popping it into my Misty stamping tool using some My Favorite Things hybrid black ink because I did want to try and use my Zig markers, which I never ever use. Never ever. Nope. I bought them. I have full set itis. I bought the whole kit. I'm not really a big fan. I think it's just me. I don't know. I see everybody using them and I think they look awesome. It's just not me. I love my Copic markers. I don't know if it's just the watercolor or what, but yeah, I use them. It looks great. I'm happy. Just not my thing. So I'm just working my way through color by color. I could have sped this up a little bit more, but I decided to leave it in for you guys to show you that I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be. So just working my way through very, very quickly. I wish I could do it this quickly, but unfortunately I cannot. It has been sped up to 2 times my coloring speed. So just blending out that darker marker. Alright, stamping out one of the sentiments just onto a leftover piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to pop that on to the stamped shells that I already did, which I've also cut to size, and just playing with colours for underneath. I actually decided to pull in some craft cardstock from my stash because I wanted to keep the browns in there, so I have done that, and then it needed to be broken up, so I grabbed some of the white cardstock from the kit and added another layer in underneath. So just working my way through, and I'm also going to use one of those little wooden shells that came in the kit as well. Just finished my card off perfectly, loved it, added it to a card base, checked to make sure my card base was the right way around. Now I am moving on to card number 6. That was card 5 finished. So this is card number 6. Again, just using these pull apart, push apart things. I should have checked the technical term of these before I started recording, but we all know what I'm talking about. So I am popping it all together, layering it all up using the foam mounting tape. Now, you guys won't believe it, but I decided to make a shaker card. I know, right? Deni doesn't do shaker cards, but I feel bad every month when I have all these beautiful shaker card embellishment sequins left over from the card kit, and I don't use them because I don't do shaker cards. But I did. So I grabbed some acetate from my kit. I have Tombow Mono Multied it down to that, added in my sequins. You missed the recording of that because I didn't have it adhered properly and I dropped it and they went all over my craft room floor. So I'm now adding on the Nuvo crystal drops. You didn't need to see that, really. It was so bad that my son was on the floor trying to pick them up with his two little fingers. I grabbed what I could and then I said, don't worry about the rest. I'll just vacuum it up and start again. So that was that one. Now moving on to card number 7. All right, so using one of these again. I didn't use all of the layers on this one. I didn't need it. So I have foam mounting tape on this one. So at the end of this card is where my technical issues have started. So I lost the end of this card, unfortunately. I don't know where it's gone, but it's not there. So this is the end of my card so that you guys can see that I did finish it. Now we're moving on to card number 8. All right, so we are using the little cruise boat ship. Love it. Little sailboat. I don't even know where my words are today. So I am foam mounting that one up. I had to cut the foam mounting tape up so thin to make this one work. That's why it's so far down the end of the camera. I needed to be up really close to get that done. So I'm just working out. I needed some pattern papers for behind, and then I lost another one. Yes, you can imagine I was not happy. So my camera has eaten all of my footage. And with the kits, obviously you can't just get that back. I can't pull them apart and remake them. So we're now moving on to card number 9, which is the little frogs. This is my favoritist one yet. I loved it. I did adhere one of the layers in the wrong spot though. I don't think I left that on the video. But just so that you guys know, pay attention to what you're doing. But it was all fixed in the long run. That's the main thing. So this would have been a cute one to do as a shaker card as well, especially with having the frame on there already. But I wasn't pushing my friendship with shaker cards. It was bad enough that I dropped the last one. See, that's why I don't do them. This is what happens to me. I'm silly and I don't stick it together properly and I knock it off my desk and all the sequins go everywhere. I used my Tim Holtz scissors to cut the foam tape here because they are non-stick. Made it a little bit easier. And these are all the little teeny tiny pieces, so it made it very difficult. I ended up cutting it into thirds because it was still too thick. So that's what we're doing, and then just working our way all the way around the frame until the frame is complete. Now this is where it's all starting to stick to my hands. It's driving me mental. Trying to put little tiny pieces onto the frog's hands as well, just so that everything is adhered down. I won't tell you guys how many hours it has taken me to get this recording done, especially the voiceover. I already uploaded it once. This is the second time. I'm very sorry. I completely forgot to do my voiceover. I don't know what's going on with my head today. I'm still trying to get over this bug that I've had for the last 2 weeks. It's been a crazy month. Yes, well, at least I've got voice. I've got voice to do my voiceover. That's the start, I guess. Alright, so just pulling all those backings off and adhering that frame on nice and straight. Popping my little froggies in. Adding some more foam tape onto the next layer. Pulling all the backings off of that foam tape, making sure it's all sticky. Can you guys believe how quickly this kit sold out this month? Not that I blame you, I'm absolutely loving it myself, but it was so exciting to see how quickly it sold out. So make sure that for next month you get in nice and early so that you don't miss out. We hate, you know, showing all our videos and stuff of videos of kits that have sold out, but, you know, make sure that you sign up for next month. Because next month will be just as cute as this month, and we can't wait to receive our kits so that we can show them off to you guys. Or we've got another week or so, I think, before it's time for the releases of the next kit, which is all very exciting. The months are just flying by at the moment. It feels like I only just got my kit, and I'm sure that a lot of you guys are just receiving them now. So I just cut that sentiment up. I'm adding some of the patterned paper from the kit in the background there, adhering everything down using my Scotch ATG onto a white Twiddly Bits card base, adding some foam tape onto my sentiment. I actually thought that I had lost this video as well, but thankfully this one was hiding somewhere on my camera, but I did manage to find it. So now card number 10, I did completely lose the whole lot of the video. So unfortunately I can only show you the end product on this one. But I did manage today to get a couple of extra cards done. So that's pretty exciting. So we actually have 14 cards from this kit this month. So hopefully that means that you will forgive me and my awesome technical issues for this month. I have made up for it with a few extras. So working my way through, I'm just using the little hut. One of the sentiments that I didn't use on one of the other cards, I've pulled in a doily from my stash. I'm using some of the light blue cardstock from the kit and a couple of leftovers from the other cards that I'm just I'm just cutting into banners using my EK Success Cutter B scissors because they're nice and sharp and pointy. Working out my layout, and then I'm going to adhere everything using my Scotch ATG gun, just making sure that it's all nice and straight. Just cutting off the excess using my EK Success scissors again, then popping it down onto that blue cardstock that I did prepare earlier. And then very carefully I was using my Scotch ATG gun because I know that every time I use it, it rips. So I'm using my Tombow Mono Multi on the back of the hut, and I'm going to add some foam tape onto the sentiment. And I am now pulling in some of the Tonic Studios Nuvo crystal drops. I'm just popping them onto my hand so that I can flatten them out a little bit and I only have that little tiny bit of a lump rather than a big one. That's what I was after. Alright, so we're about to move on to card number 12. Showing you guys all the layers. So I'm pulling in some of the patterned paper from the kit and one of the pull aparts that I didn't use on one of the cards. And this is a sneak peek of the next card as well, which I was kind of playing with at the same time. Multitasking like a queen. So I'm pulling in a circle die from my Lawn Fawn circle, stitch circle dies. Just cut one of those green pattern pieces, and I will use the excess piece, like the outside piece, on another card. So I decided I wanted to try and pull in a few more of the ribbons from the kit. So just trying to work out what I'm going to do with them, how I'm going to bring those into my card. and I decided to adhere them down to the patterned paper. So that's what I've done. I've tried to find the same colour of stripe, laid them down, used my Scotch ATG gun to run across the line, and then I carefully used my finger to rub off the excess adhesive. So now I'm popping adhesive onto that little pop out, adhering it down, and then I will ATG that strip down, and then I'll fold the edges over so that I don't lose the edges of those ribbons. Now I wanted to try and bring in some more of those banner stickers, so I'm going to use those on this card as well. Just making a little banner for the right hand corner there. Just having a play with them. I haven't completely pushed them down, that way I can kind of move them around a little bit before I make them permanent. So now I'm just folding over that little bit of strip there, and then I'll just use some Scotch tape to, magic tape, just to glue that down, or adhere it down I should say. Using my Scotch ATG gun, running straight over the top of that stripy paper and the ribbons, and then adhering it to my Twiddly Bits card base. I will add some Tonic Studios Nouveau Crystal Drops, and then make sure that they're nice and flat for myself, and that takes us to card number 13. Love this one. It is so adorable. So this is the one that we had sneak peeks of that I started earlier. So you did miss a few. Go back and watch the last bit of the video. Now I'm just trying to work out what colours I'm going to make this card with. So I was playing with the green excess piece from the last card, but it just wasn't working with me. There was too much green, too much blue. It was just all too much. Switching between the sentiments as well, I was going to use the Fun in the Sun, decided to use the With Love, and I did banner the edge of that as well with my EK Success scissors. I am adding some of the little wooden embellishments onto my card as well. I popped some foam tape onto that sentiment so that I could pop it up a little bit off the card. Now I cut a piece of the green, that gorgeous cardstock that was in the kit, and some of the white as well, and just adhering everything using the Scotch ATG gun, working my way through, making sure it's all nice and straight, adding some Tombow Mono Multi down to make sure that I don't tear my doily, and foam mounting my sentiment down. Then I will adhere it to a Twiddly Bits card base, making sure that of course it is the right way round. So popping all of that down, adding the Tonic Studios Nouveau Crystal Drops, and we will, making sure they're all flat. Now we will begin on card number 14. So this is where I ended up using that leftover piece of the green cardstock. I used the little sundae cup that I had sitting on my desk, and also a strip of leftover cardstock that was on my desk as well. So this is a good card to pull together. I used a few little leftover bits and pieces from the kit. I am now running low on pattern papers, etc. from the kit, so that's awesome. I got 14 cards out of it. I am completely stoked. The sentiment I cut from one of the bear leftovers. I decided I wasn't going to use it, so I took the sentiment from it and just followed the banner cutting all the way around. So I added some of that patterned paper down using my Scotch ATG gun to adhere the sundae. Adding some foam mounting tape to that sentiment. I just wanted it to pop off the card a little bit more. Just working my way through. I cut the foam tape down a little bit thinner as well so that it fit on there perfectly. Adding some of the Tonic Studio Nouveau Crystal Drops down onto my card. I appreciate you all sticking with me through the technical difficulties, and I am glad to present you with 14 cards. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.